United South End Settlements recently adjusted its mission to put more focus on family poverty. That promises to be a gain for children and their parents, but there's a downside for people who come to the same agency for senior service programs. To tell us about what those services and the decision-making process are two members of the senior program from the South End, Alison, Barnet, and Rachel Silva. Thank you both very much for being with us.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah.
I want to start with Rachel because I want to hear both of you talk about what you do at these programs. Rachel, what about you?
Well, I retired in 2009, and I joined the Harriet Tubman House for the exercise classes. They had a jazzercise. They had a muscle strengthening, muscle building exercise program that was for like an hour, and art classes. Yoga, the chorus group, the music group, which was formed into the Platinum Singers, and that's all being.
I understand you're one of the singers.
I am, yes, yeah.
And Alison, what about you? What have you been doing at this?
Well, I'm not a regular there, but I have gone to Tai Chi. I went to Tai Chi for a while, and also balance classes. I went twice to balance. My balance is no better, but. But I think that's the only thing I've. But I know so many people in that program.
Now, you say you know them. That means you spend time talking to them, and.
Yeah, and I've seen them around, and they've been in the South End a long time.
What about you, Rachel? As far as being able to socialize, is this a big deal for you?
Well, partly, not completely. There are a number of people there that go on a regular basis, Monday through Friday, for their luncheon dinners that are provided by Kit Clark, and it's a socialization for them. And also for some of them, I think it's probably a nutritional meal for them, because I don't know if they eat healthy-wise, but that the Kit Clark offers them that opportunity to have decent food that's nourishment and milk, the low-fat milk. They try to keep low sodium, low glucose in mind when they're preparing their meals. But I've also participated. They had Spanish classes. I've also was in the balance class that Alison was in, which I found extremely helpful.
And they have computer classes also.
No, Alison, one of the things I'm old enough to remember about Kit Clark is that she was an advocate for elders to have a life in the neighborhoods, not being just cooped up in the house all the time.
Right.
So what does that mean as far as
I
these
think
programs?
it's great means a great deal. And we suspect that if they do find some other places for these classes, that people won't be going because they come to Tubman House. And they meet friends at lunch and all that sort of thing.
This is BNN News. We're talking about senior programs at USES with Alison, Barnet, and Rachel Silva. Rachel, this change at United South End Settlements, they've had some financial difficulties, and then they had a planning process. And I guess one of the things we heard from the new head of the programs there is that people who depend on senior programs should have been part of the process and making sure those programs are protected.
Absolutely. I think that we were not involved in any of the decision making. Certainly we would have been out there for fundraising if possible. We would have done whatever we could. They learned about this in September. However, we did not learn about it until April 26th.
Meaning you learned that the programs are going to be discontinued.
Exactly.
What happened is that the head of the senior program and some other staff just went into some of the classes and said they're closing.
Now, Chris, what I was also picking up from an interview with the head of USES is that maybe people like you and Rachel should have been part of that planning process, at least more injected into it to make sure that you could advocate for this program. What do you say to that?
I say absolutely. There has been, as far as we know, no community process. And
but why not? Just because you weren't invited, or because
I don't think it had anything to do with us.
Right.
I think it was a decision with the board and the CEO.
The board says that it's been 10 years of financial problems. So just now they're saying, we're in a pit here. And no community process.
Rachel, I know programs like the ones you and Alison have been talking about are run in other neighborhoods, And oftentimes I hear about them being run by a health center or maybe taking place at a community center. Couldn't that happen in the South End? You have a community center, you have a health center?
No, there aren't
it
any.
won't.
And the fees are different. I participate in a lot of the community health center community programs that they offer, and I pay for that. But there are a lot of seniors that cannot afford to pay that money, that high. To go to a gym, even for a senior rate, it's still not that cheap to get involved in.
We're talking about a pretty low-income group by and large.
Yeah.
Not totally, but. And the Union United Methodist Church apparently is working on redoing their kitchen, and they will be offering a lunch on the weekends or something. Maybe they have some rooms in there, but that's it as far as we know.
Well, what about the room that you've been doing this in so far at the Tubman House? What's
Many
that?
rooms.
Many rooms?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Big rooms.
Yeah.
Here's, Rachel, one of the other things I heard from people at USES is that in their focus on families and helping them break the cycle of poverty, they would like people like you and Alison to be out there joining them, maybe helping some of these families and their children.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you say?
I agree. I think that, and I mentioned this, that at the meeting on the 26th of April, that how important it is to get input from the seniors. You have a lot of grandparents bringing up their grandchildren.
Now, of course, one of the other things, Alison, of course, is that recently, for the 125th anniversary of United Settlements, there was a gala. They rolled out their new vision plan, and
we were outside picketing.
And did you have any second thought? Because some people said, "Oh my God, how dare you picket a fundraiser for the agency you depend on?"
Well, I think that was exactly what we had to do. What else were we going to picket?
It was the best way to get out the.
Yeah, we had
A
flyers.
lot of people did not even know about the closing of the senior program, so this was our way. There was 11 of us, and we thought it was quite successful.
Yeah. We didn't get in anybody's way. We didn't get arrested. We were just quietly. We had posters and we had flyers.
Yeah,
Rachel, you were supposed to be inside singing, but instead you were outside.
exactly. They had asked me to do a solo, and in my heart of heart, I just could not participate in a program that was ending for us and then asking us to perform one song joyously, yes.
Well,
It was an insult, I thought.
Chris, the other thing is it's not just the senior program that's ending, it's the GED program.
Another age group.
Yeah.
Could
Or
also,
maybe, right.
Exactly.
I hope this is not the end. So, what is the next step? What can you do now, Alison?
Well, we could pick it again. Some of us are writing a letter to each board member. We really think that they're not really in touch with this. I mean, they know about the money and all, but have they really thought through what this means to people?
I don't think they get it. I really don't.
No, we don't think they get it.
Yeah.
I'm always going around saying, you look at us and you can see that we're visibly angry, but the other people it's sort of like zip expression. Mm-hmm. It's, oh, well, we don't have the money.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both very much, Alison Barnet
You're welcome. Thank you.
and Rachel Silva. Up ahead, we'll hear about efforts to get more jobs for Boston residents.